Let us normalize taking time off for self-care without feeling guilty. There and welcome back to yet another video. As always, I am your host Favor Shali, and this is Grateful Planet podcast, where we talk about faith, self-development and growth. So in today's video, like you already know, we are going to talk about self-care, why it's important and why you should never feel guilty for having self-care. So I just want to ask you something. When last did you take time off for yourself? Just for yourself, not, a group thing or something, just for yourself. When last did you take time for yourself? The truth is, most of us feel guilty to take a break when there's so much to be done. I want to flip that script. You shouldn't feel guilty for taking a break. You shouldn't feel guilty for resting. If you need it, you have to go and get it. You have to do it. Self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity. You need that to function well as a member of a society. Pushing yourself too hard without breaks, without rest and all that will lead you to burnout and will lead you to emotional and mental exhaustion. And we do not want that. Resting and taking time off does not equal laziness. Even after you take that break and take that time off, work will still be there. Lots of work will still be there. There will be more and more to do every time. So your little time for rest does not come in between that. Just know how to balance, okay? Balance is needed in all of this. So let's start by discussing, why do we feel guilty in the first place when we take breaks, when we rest? Let's say we have this big goal in our hands, but then we decide to take rest or decide to take a break. And then it's like your conscience is nudging you. It's always telling you, oh, you're not supposed to take this break. Get up, you're lazy. All these negative thoughts. Why do we feel guilty for taking breaks in the first place? It's because of the pressure to be productive. And I feel like some people misunderstand what productivity is, because rest is part of productivity. But that's a video for another day. In our 20s, it's like there's this narrative that we are always told, now is your time to build, to hustle, to grind, to achieve as much as we can. Because, you're in your 20s, you're young, you're energetic, most of us have all the time in the world. Yes, working hard and all that, putting efforts towards your goals and all that stuff. Yes, it's very important, but also so is self-care, so is resting, so is taking breaks. Because this hustle culture, this grinding culture can lead us to believe that taking breaks is not a good idea, that somehow it is a sign of weakness or laziness. That's not the case. That internal voice that always says, you're not doing enough. You need to do more of this. You don't deserve to rest. That internal voice, you need to be able to shut it down and tone it down, because it can make you feel guilty for resting when you really need that rest, when you really need to take that break. And this can lead to burnout. There's no point, there's no benefit of pushing yourself until you're physically, mentally and emotionally drained. And then when you get there, in that state is when you decide, okay, now is when I need to take a break. Ever heard that saying, prevention is better than cure? It goes hand in hand with resting. You do not have to wait until you reach the point that you are very burnt out or very exhausted that you take time to rest. Know your limits, know when to stop, when to take a break, when to go back again after the break. You rest and go back. Laziness comes in when you rest and completely rest for a long period of time. So why is self-care important? Self-care is basically how we take care of our bodies, our mind and our soul. It's not just physical, it goes beyond that. How do you feel right now? And what do you need to do to feel better? Again, self-awareness. You will know what it is that makes you feel good, what it is you need to rest and recharge. And we really need self-care and this recharging moment so that we can be our best selves. And if we are our best selves, we can be the best to the people, work, passions, and everything around us that we care about. That is one of the reasons as to why you need self-care, for your own sanity and for you to feel good about yourself, be the best, and be the best towards others as well. After being the best for yourself, that is. Think of it like your phone battery. So you keep using your phone over and over, the battery will run out, and if you do not recharge it, it will die. It will die. Similarly, our bodies need to recharge all the time. Yes, we will keep working, but we also need that break. We need that time to go and recharge so that we can function again fully. And most people, it's ironic, you will really, turn the world upside down when your battery is very low. You see that red bar. You'll turn the world upside down to find a charger and charge your phone. But then when you are feeling like you need rest, you don't give yourself that break that you need. Going hand in hand with that is self-care avoids burnout. And if you don't know what burnout is, it's the process whereby you feel like you're mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but it's not a good feeling. So self-care helps us to avoid that. Because if you keep on ignoring your own feelings and how you feel about work and other things, how your body is feeling, you will start feeling drained and less motivated in life, even stressed sometimes. You become irritable, like small things are happening, you're already reacting like it's something major. So your body signaling, it's telling you something is up. And you might think it's something really not major. Oh, but I'm used to it. You even start feeling like the things you once loved to do, you don't even love them anymore. Like you're tired and drained. When we ignore our own needs, we start to feel drained, irritable, and less motivated. We stop enjoying the things we once loved, and then it becomes harder to give our best to do anything. So taking time off, even just for a day or a few hours, can help reset our minds and bodies so we can come back stronger. And self-care is not selfish. In fact, it's the opposite. By taking care of yourself, you are making sure that you have the energy and the mental clarity to show up for others, to be that friend, to be that sibling, that co-worker, that partner that you want to be. So remember, it's not only about you, it's about how you show up for others too, for yourself and for others too. Because if you're in the right state of mind, the right state physically, emotionally, etc., you will also be projecting that to others. If you feel bad and terrible about yourself, you'll also be projecting that to others, insulting people, being irritated with the smallest things, etc. So it's always good to take care of yourself first. Now, let's talk about what self-care is, because when people hear the word self-care, they're already automatically thinking about things to do with bubble baths, spa days, expensive getaways. And while those things can be self-care, the self-care is so much bigger than that. It could be as simple as journaling, as simple as taking time to reflect, going out to walk in nature, basking in the sun, getting some sun for yourself, fresh air outside, making a nice meal for yourself, taking a nap. Can be anything. Very simple things that will help you recharge and unwind and make you feel better about yourself, about the day, whatever it is. Could be saying no to an invitation because you need time off for yourself, or switching off your phone because you need that silence. Can be anything really. So it's up to you to realize what makes you feel good and what you need in order to recharge. That is self-care. And you shouldn't be guilty about that. You should be guilt-free. The key is finding what makes you feel rested, at ease, grounded, all that beautiful stuff. Find out what works for you. And remember that self-care is not about escaping life. It's about taking a break so you can enjoy your life more fully. Now, let's talk about how we can take time off for ourselves, for self-care, without feeling guilty. We need to change our mindset and reframe how we see rest. Rest does not mean, like I said, that we are lazy. It actually means that you're smart enough to know when you need rest and when you need to keep going, because it's a sign that you're listening to your mind and your body telling you what it needs when in terms of resting and giving yourself what you need to keep going. The next time you feel guilty for resting or taking that break, remind yourself that you cannot pour from an empty cup. If that cup is empty, you can't pour from it. You need to fill your cup. And whatever energizes you and recharges you, whatever gives you rest, what works for you, remember. Do it and get back on track and keep going. You deserve rest. Not because you've earned it, but because you're human. You need it to function well in all areas of your life. Schedule self-care like you would any important thing in your life. Block out time in your calendar for yourself, whether it's an hour in the evening, a full day, or even just 30 minutes. Treat it as a non-negotiable, just like you would a meeting or a deadline. This is something very important for you, and so you will always make time for it. Even if it's like every evening I have to go out for a walk. Every morning I have to go get fresh air and have sun in my skin. Can be as simple as that. Before I sleep, I have to journal. Before the day ends, I have to finish one episode of my favorite movie. Can be anything really. So that has been helping me out, being able to schedule out, putting out some time for myself to do things that I enjoy. Despite being busy with work, with other creative projects, with household duties, like I'm a wife. So there's so much to do, but having that time to unwind and relax is not gonna cost you much. Give it importance as much as you would any other task that is important to you, because your well-being should be the most important thing. And if you're worried about falling behind, remember this. Rest is what makes you more productive in the long run. You will be more focused and more creative and more energized when you give yourself the time to recharge. So I'm speaking about this because it's something personal to me. I never used to believe in rest. In fact, I was anti-rest. I used to be this person who was just chasing goals after goals after goals. The more you put in the efforts, the more hard work you do and all that. In fact, these days I don't believe in hard work. I believe in smart work. I don't believe in exhausting myself, mind, body, and soul just to get by. And I might sound arrogant, but there are some things I needed to change, including my mindset, in order to get here. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just saying. It's something that I've been through. And I realized that was hurting me. That constant pushing, grinding culture, hustle this. No, you don't even have time to rest. You'll rest in the grave, quote unquote. I used to say that. Oh my God, cringe. But yeah, I reached a point that I needed to rest. And I started taking time off for myself without feeling guilty, because I used to tell myself, I had these internal dialogues telling myself, you know what, you don't deserve rest. Productivity. For you to be productive, you have to have times for rest. In fact, these days in my schedule, even if it's a full day, I have to take breaks in between. Like I can't just go productive the whole time, like non-stop without having breaks in between. I have to have that. I even go to the extent of having power naps. And if you don't know what power naps are, these are like you take 1 hour or 30 minutes for a nap. You take a nap for 30 minutes or 1 hour and you wake up, you feel very recharged. So there are some things I keep on adding into my schedule, into my day, that make me feel more energized and more recharged. Even if I'm at work, I always take time out for myself, like a break, somewhere quiet where there is no one, just sit and just breathe and think of other things that I want to think of that is not work related, or just binge on my phone a bit for a while, 10 minutes I give myself max, or something that just makes me feel good. Self-care doesn't have to cost much. It's just something that makes you feel recharged and energetic. And when you practice self-care, you'll find that you will be better, You will have more energy, more creativity, and most importantly, you'll feel happier and more at peace. You'll learn that rest isn't a luxury. It's actually an essential thing for you to show up as your best self. So, dear young adults, let's normalize taking time off for ourselves to rest without feeling guilty. And it's not that we are saying here, oh, you can rest and then forget about your goals. No, it's part of productivity. You work and you take rest. So let's give ourselves permission to rest without feeling guilty. It's not like a reward to be earned. It's a necessity for you to keep going and continue being productive towards your goals. Because rest is part of the process. That's what I believe. Rest is definitely part of the process. And these days, I embrace rest. Between me and my husband, we always appreciate rest. We always take time off for ourselves together. You can rest with someone, yourself, etc. Just do it without feeling guilty about it, okay? So I encourage you to be taking breaks. Rest when you feel the need to. Don't wait until you're burnt out and exhausted. Find ways, strategies, different ways that you can manage your day well, be productive well, and also take time off for yourself without feeling guilty. So that was it for this video, guys. If this video resonated with you, be sure to leave a comment down below and share with us what self-care practices do you do for yourself and what do you wish to start doing moving forward. Do you believe that you need to rest even before you feel exhausted and burnt out? Do you believe that rest is part of productivity? How have you been looking at rest? Is it a sign of laziness or you think that it's a necessity? Let us know down below in the comment section and let this be a discussion between us young adults. Stay blessed, stay grounded, and stay restful. Until next time, cheers.